The house is quiet now. Lights softened. Breathing slower. This is the moment you are told to close your eyes. To let the day fade. To rest. But before you do, listen. Because this story did not begin with rest. It began with restraint. She had lived her entire life inside rooms that decided for her. Rooms where choices were discussed quietly, as if volume could change truth. Rooms where her future was outlined long before she learned how to want. At night, the palace became something else. Less demanding, less watchful. The walls still stood tall, but their expectations slept. That was when she felt most herself. He understood nights differently. For him, rest never came easily. The silence pressed in, carrying the weight of decisions he had not yet made but would soon be forced to own. By daylight, he was certain of everything he was supposed to be. By night, certainty dissolved. They existed in the same world for years without truly seeing one another. Ceremonies. Formal greetings. Passing acknowledgments shaped by duty, not curiosity. It was easy not to notice someone when the entire world was trained to look past people and see only roles. They first spoke properly on a night when sleep had abandoned them both. No grand reason. No intention. She had wandered into the West Gallery, a place rarely used after dark. He was there, standing by a window, watching the reflection of the city lights on glass. Neither of them spoke at first. There was comfort in not explaining why they were awake. When he finally turned, his expression held no expectation. Just quiet surprise. She commented on the hour. He agreed. It should have ended there. It did not. They spoke as if continuing a conversation already in progress. About the weight of the day. About how silence felt heavier when carried alone. That night ended without promises. But something had shifted. They began seeing each other in these hours between obligation and rest. Always quietly. Always without announcement. They talked about small things. Books that stayed with them longer than they should have. Music that felt like memory. Moments from childhood that never appeared in official accounts. He admitted that rest frightened him. Because rest meant stillness. And stillness meant hearing thoughts he spent all day avoiding. She confessed that she had never truly rested. That even sleep felt like preparation for the next performance. These were not things they shared with anyone else. They belonged to the night. With each conversation, one question was answered and another emerged. Why did honesty come easier here? Why did the world feel less heavy when shared? Love did not arrive suddenly. It arrived gradually, disguised as understanding. The palace did not notice at first. Night hides patterns well, but repetition creates shape. Even in darkness, servants noticed lights still on. Advisors noticed fatigue paired with quiet resolve. Family sensed change without evidence. She was reminded, gently, that rest was important but boundaries mattered. He was reminded, firmly, that discipline defined leadership. They listened. They acknowledged. They continued. Because what they had found was not escape. It was grounding. They learned each other's silences. The way his voice softened when he stopped pretending. The way her shoulders relaxed when she felt safe enough not to perform. They argued sometimes. About risk. About timing. About what love could realistically survive. One night, the truth arrived without invitation. A discussion overheard. A future outlined without consent. She waited for him long past the hour they usually met. The gallery felt colder. The windows darker. When he arrived, his face carried answers he did not want to give. A path had been chosen. Approved. Celebrated. Love was not part of the design. She asked him if rest was possible in a life that excluded truth. He did not answer right away. That silence held everything. They parted without resolution. Sleep did not come. She lay awake, realizing how deeply she had already rested inside his understanding. Not in promises. In presence. He lay awake too, understanding that the future offered to him felt hollow without the quiet place where he could be fully seen. Days passed. Meetings multiplied. Smiles were worn like armor. At night, clarity returned. He came to her not with certainty, but with courage. He said rest meant nothing if it required abandoning the one place where he felt human. The resistance was immediate. Concern sharpened. Warnings arrived disguised as wisdom. She was offered safety in distance. He was offered peace in obedience. They refused together. What followed was not gentle. Tension filled rooms. Sleep came late. Doubt visited often. But something changed. They stopped hiding their truth from each other. They rested inside honesty, even when the world remained restless. Time did what force could not. It revealed commitment. Opposition softened, not because it approved, but because it could not undo what had already taken root. Years later, their story would be told differently. Simplified, romanticized. But the truth lived in moments like this. Quiet nights, shared exhaustion, love that offered rest instead of escape. If you are listening now, before you rest, know this. Love does not always arrive to excite you. Sometimes it arrives to steady you. And rest does not mean forgetting who you are. It means laying down where you are understood. Let that be enough tonight.